Hey everyone, it's Alicia Handles It, and I'm back with part 2 of how to make a wig. So we already have our 13 by 4 unit on. So I am going to start sewing it and show you just how to go along and how to place your needles on each side and how we're going to meet at the top. And I just want to start off the video with thank you for all the new subscribers and thank you to all the returning viewers, and welcome back. And please subscribe, like, and share, and comment if you have any questions or just any comments you would like to say. Now let's get straight to it. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have all my needles ready to go, prepared. And I'm going to start. I might not talk much in this video, but you guys just watch and take in. We're making a wig. This is part 2 of how to make a wig. Here we go. Now, I always start at the very bottom of the lace. And my lace is on. It's not too tight, but it's in place. Go back to part 1 and see how we placed our unit on. Okay, guys, so now we start. I'm not going under the first. I'm only going under the first layer of the band, not the actual rubber. So you're going to pick up the first layer of the band. You can actually use the thread and pull it so as close as you can. And I'm going to get this out the way for you guys. Oh, let me use something else. That's better. And let me tighten this. Okay, guys, here we go. And I always go in the middle, but I won't tell you guys what's the best way to sew because everybody has their own style. So whatever is more comfortable for you. Because honestly, I sew in different ways. Sometimes depending on the style, you know, so. What I do though, I usually go right through the middle of the thread, like that. Or when I really want to tighten the section, after I leave this area, I'll show you. I'm picking it up, I'm not sewing through the rubber. And you see how close my stitches are? All right, so this is an area right here where my first part of the lace where there's no rubber. So what I'll probably do, or in areas where I feel it's necessary, I'll hold my thread out like this. Take the one that's already into the wall of the lace, wrap it around. Make sure I have full control of the thread because it will get knotted. You don't want that. And that will give me extra security. And I go back through and make sure it's nice and flat. And right there, it's extra security. But I can just go up like this. Without giving it extra security, because when I'm putting the tracks on to the weave, I am going to give those knots and stuff when I add a little bit of it to the lace, so it will be in there. And you guys see my flow, how I go. Once I push the thread through, I go like up and down, pull back to tighten it. In the middle, up and down, pull back to tighten it. You don't want right here bumpy. You want this as flat as possible. And you don't want to bend your lace. Everything needs to stay nice and flat. And now I'm getting closer to the top. I am going to start the other side because you never want to go all the way to the other side from this side. So you see how we have a rubber right here? Do not sew through this. Try to sew as close as you can. Do not pull too tight and come to the other side over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through, go to the other side. Here we go with those crazy pins again, guys. All right, and secure it that way, nice and flat. Come back. And now I start the other side. Now I start on the other side. And I never really start right where the pin is because eventually when the wig is all said and done, I am going to go back in and make sure to tighten those in. But I go down as far as I can because I don't want to move my pin. So here we go. Like I said before, do not go under the first. Just only go under the first layer of the band. And if you have a needle thread that's kind of thick at the end, it's kind of fat, all you have to do is just leave it out a little bit. Sew around it. So that way you can cut it off at the end and it will be flat still. And always pay attention to your thread so you don't have to start all over with another thread. Because there's pins, there's all kind of things hanging around the wig right now that can get it caught up. And now that I see where those things are, I will be removing them out of my way. Like this pin right here at the bottom. And I'll turn this pin sideways because it's grabbing my pin, my needle, my thread. And like I said, there's no right or wrong way as long as you know however you're sewing it. It's in there nice and tight, so I won't, confuse you. But what I usually do, I just go right through the middle of my thread, pull up and down, and pull back to me. I'm out of the danger zone with the band in the front. And I'm always kind of pulling down a little bit, if not towards me, because what that ensures is that the unit is being laid properly, nice and flat at the top. And you can go over certain areas that you feel like is not flat enough just to make sure, but do not do it too much in that area to where it becomes a bump. Because we need everything nice and flat. This would go a lot smoother for me if I wasn't trying to film it, but I'm going to turn it to me a little bit and just keep going, guys. And I'm getting up to the other rubber. Like I said, do not go over it. Do not sew in between it. Go around it. And I knotted it right there because of the rubber right there. So it's knotted right there at the corner for extra hold. And you can actually remove this pin now because you don't need it. And the reason why it's so difficult is because of my tape that I have on the mannequin head. Making my way over, if you guys can see. So we're trying to meet up so we can get married. All right, guys, you got to do up here really close because when the wig is done and you cut the stocking cap off, if up here is not sewed properly, you would see the gaps. And you don't want that. But you still have a second chance to make sure it's all secure when you're sewing your last track of your hair, your weave. And of course, I'm using deep wave here because this is a deep wave lace. All right, so we're at the top in the center, and I'm just keep going. And here's the other needle. They're almost met up. All right. right, so here we go. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Music started playing in my background. I had to go turn it off. Okay, so here we go. We already know this is YouTube. We do not want to get copyrighted. Not so far in this video. Anyway, guys, we're back at the top and we're closing it off. And my needles are short. So I'm just going to go through and not do all the twisting that I usually do. But I am going to lock it in once I get up to the top. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lock it in now for you guys because for tutorial's sake. So I'm going to go up under here to finish that off. Go back so I don't waste any thread using all the thread. All right, so this is done. Grab my shears. So we can actually do the same over here. Tie a knot on this side also. Here we go, guys. The finished lace sewed on to your mesh dome cap. Okay, so now I'm going to come with part 3 because I don't want the video too long on how and where to start your tracks. And this is the hair I'll be using. And I'll come back and show you guys where to start the tracks because there's a little trick or a little hack because a lot of people think it starts one way when I'm going to show you guys exactly how it's done. Come back for the next video. Comment below and tell me what color nails you think I should have next. And I'll see you guys in part 3 where we're going to handle this.